Go ahead.
And welcome into a special edition of Inside Press Box or Press Box Live or the Monday Baseball Chat on a Wednesday afternoon. It's Stan the Fan and Luke Jackson. And Luke, first I want to tell people we're brought to you by the Costas Inn with two great locations, 4100 North Point Boulevard and the Timonium location at the fairgrounds up above the OTB, up above the grandstand next to the OTB. We're also brought to you by Warnton Law. 443 results is the phone number, or check them out on the web at 443. Oh, no, that's their phone number, 443 results. The website is warnkenlaw.com. That's WARNKEN.com. You've been injured in an accident and need the best representation possible. Luke, we scheduled this yesterday. I said, hey, why don't we jump on and talk about, you know, the trade deadline coming up? Little did I know we were going to get uh, a game of these proportions today. First of all, it started off Matson, Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald, they've turned it into a Scooble versus Rogers heavyweight championship. It ended up anything but that, although Tarek Scooble did deliver today. But the Orioles got an improbable 10-9 victory in what was it, 12 innings at Co-America Park. Your thoughts on the game, and then we can meander because the game does impact Mike Elias's thinking going into the next couple days.
Yeah, particularly with an off day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So first of all, I would like to pat myself on the back because I stuck with this game. I could have very easily at 5-0, 6-0, 7-0 went out to get an early dinner.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. And so
I'd like to give you a
good on
pat
me.
on the back.
Yeah, good on me for that.
Yeah.
Just one of those wild games that can happen because there's no clock in baseball. Really.
Yeah.
Like the Tigers can't take a knee. They got to get 27 outs. And when things start snowballing in baseball, and I think in one of the games in particular this year where that happened in favor of the Orioles was that Toronto game. It was a Saturday late afternoon. Um, these things can happen, and it happened again today. And obviously, it's happened a few times going the other way for the Orioles as well. So, and frankly, as they mentioned on the broadcast in these one-run games, the Orioles have not come out on the positive
No,
side of
no, they
those
have not.
this year.
So maybe as we go down to the wire now, maybe they can start to turn that trend. What were they like,
I think
8-17
they
or
were
eight
like
and
9 and
sixteen,
17 or something like
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that? Now they've put one in the win column. Luke, three players today. Forget the pitching for a moment. Um, Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald like to talk about how great this bullpen is. It's been pretty good. Rico Garcia, if they push him to the side a little bit, I'm
Hmm.
not that concerned. He belongs right now. He belongs in the games where you're behind 8-0 or ahead 8-0, something like that. But three players that have been maligned from time to time, they've really shown some signs of life. Two of the three have really shown some signs of life. And I'm talking about Jackson Holiday, who had a great series in Detroit
Hmm.
and seems to be on a trajectory to maybe finish the season strong. And I
Hmm.
give you credit. You always reminded me that he missed the entire spring training, and that took a while, and it didn't have an easy recovery from that hamate bone, but he's playing very well. And Kobe Mayo, still hovering around 200, maybe even below, but he might be just above after today's game.
Hmm.
But he's come through with some big hits. And a player that's becoming much maligned is Colton Cowser. But he came through with a big hit against Drew Summers today, and won the ball game.
Right. So let's talk about those guys one by one. Jackson Holiday, he's just got to get back to, and I think we've seen this in the past 2 or 3 weeks. He is a line drive hitter, foul
Yeah.
line to foul line. Just do that, man. And playing half your games at Camden Yards as a left-handed hitter, you will run into some home runs. Just like be like a Kevin McGonigal type. That's what you are. All right. And I don't know if they've had
Crazy
him
to
try.
say he should learn from the even younger player,
Right,
but that is the type of player he is.
right, right. He's that type of hitter for me, and I think that's the type of player that Tony Manzolino envisioned when he was starting to talk about him being the leadoff
Mm,
hitter for the next several years for the Orioles.
yeah,
Okay, next one, Kobe Mayo. This is basically maybe his last shot to show that he can really handle third base with Blaze Alexander out. And so it's going to be him and CES at third base. I don't love him defensively at third in the short term or long term, but he will also get more opportunities against right-handed pitching to show that he can at least defend himself against those guys. And he had a huge hit against one today. This is an extremely gifted hitter. He has great bat speed. He has terrific hand speed. He's super strong. He should not be this bad against right-handed pitching.
yeah,
He's too gifted to be this bad against right-handed pitching.
and
All right.
wasn't in the minor leagues.
And he was not like this in the minor leagues. He's always mashed lefties, but he's never
Yeah,
been. He's just getting buried by right-handed breaking balls, and hopefully he shows some signs of growth in that area. Your third one, I,
Colton
I
Cowser.
Kelton Cowser. To me, he gets a long leash because he's the only outfielder who can really catch the ball, who can really make a difference out
And we
there
saw
with his
today
glove.
how important that was.
Yes,
Again, Tavares,
Leote cannot play center,
no,
particularly not a center field as big as Detroit. That is
no,
a big center field, and he can't play out. I mean, he got exposed a couple times today,
no,
and so I give Colton a little more of a leash than some others do, and I
yeah.
was really happy for him that he came through in a big way. I guess it was in the top of the 11th or 12th against a really tough lefty, and
It
he
was in the 12th.
yeah,
Yeah, it
and
was the
I
12th.
was happy for him. He's a great
Yeah,
kid, comes from a great family,
yeah.
so good on him.
All right. Does this win, it does separate us the fact now we're what, 2 games in front of the Tigers. Does it impact Mike Elias's thinking going into the deadline, which is Monday at 4 o'clock? Is it?
It might
Or
be
is it
six. I'm not
six
sure.
o'clock? Okay.
Okay.
We've got time to
I'm
figure
gonna be
that
with a
out.
mutual friend at that time anyway, so that'll be
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
Um,
You'll be at the
yes,
you'll be
the
at the
answer.
Loxley presser at that time.
So the short answer is yes, it does affect how they think because short sample sizes, small sample sizes, I should say, do matter this time of year, probably more than they should. And winning or losing this game, I'm guessing, flips the Orioles playoff percentage by like at least 5 percentage points just by winning that game
And you're freezing
this
on
time
me.
of year.
Okay.
And the other thing, small sample sizes absolutely matter when trying to evaluate who to get at the trade deadline because you want to acquire a pitcher who is throwing the ball well right now and looks healthy right now.
You know how by the way, the deadline is 6 p.m. on Monday, Eastern time.
That'll be a fun Monday
And
for me.
we know trades will trickle into about 6:30.
Right.
That somehow they didn't get announced by 6, but they were working on the paperwork. You know how much I like Trevor Rogers and how
Hmm.
pissed I am that they weren't more aggressive because I still feel had they been aggressive last fall, they might not be in this position. I don't know. Maybe his agent all along believed that Trevor Rogers could be in for a huge payday, but I
Right.
still think had they been talking 60, $70 million, that would have been hard for him to walk away from last September. But
Yeah.
anyway, but
Yeah.
I have come around now to thinking how valuable he is in this trade market right
Hmm.
now to teams like the Cubs, the Phillies, the even the Dodgers.
Anybody who
I
needs
think
starting pitching.
I think that they should really explore dealing him and then rolling the dice and maybe being able to re-sign him. Look, he could go to a place like the Cubs or Atlanta and love being part of what they've got going on. But he's clearly very fond of Baltimore. And I think you take your chances, but I think you could get 2 impact prospects near
Right.
major league ready How
Right.
are you thinking about that right
Yeah,
now?
I totally get
Now,
where
I
you're
just
coming
want to
from.
throw in one other factor. That the list I came up with of players includes one starting pitcher. You cannot trade Rogers in this environment if you're trying to sell a little and buy more to compete this year. You've
Hmm.
got to bring in another starting pitcher.
Right.
And
Right.
I've got a
And
name. Okay,
I
but go ahead.
so for me, I'm open to talking about anybody on the roster.
Right.
Okay, and that includes obviously the expiring contracts. But I'm willing to be creative. I'm willing to try to shake this up
Yeah.
and try to win next year. And what I mean by that, I'm not trading Rodgers for a couple teenagers in the Dominican Summer League. Yeah,
No.
that's not what we're
No.
talking about.
No.
Um, but yes, I totally agree with you. I would be very open to Ward in particular.
Yeah.
Rogers, I'd be open to, and I'd also be open to guys who have a little more club control, like Adley Rutschman.
Right. Right.
So,
Okay. I'm certainly my only hesitancy about Rutschman is right now with him on the IL. That's not a strong point to be trading him. I don't know how long he's going to be out for.
right.
This is his third trip.
Apparently, this coming weekend is going to be a big weekend for him and Basayo to see how far along they are.
Okay. But if a team wants to pay us for him,
Right.
I'm ready to move on. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
I've come up with the nickname, and look, I don't claim that he's faking injuries or but he's become like a little bit like Mr. Software. You know, he's just there's they're very careful with him. Brandon Hyde was careful with him not to wear him down too much. I think Albernez has been that way, and what's his name last year?
Manzolino.
Mansolino was that way. They're very sort of they bend over backwards not to put too much on his plate. And I think the repay, it's like the squeeze is is the
Is at
squeeze.
this point the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I don't think it is. I don't know how much you really get for him, though. But I think Rogers is a
So that's
very
the funny thing.
valuable. Yeah,
I mean, if you can convince teams that Adley is healthy or is going to be healthy shortly,
yeah,
there are a lot of teams that need catching help.
yeah,
And as much as Orioles fans have perhaps soured on Adley and are open to talking about him in trades, he is still a very good defensive catcher with an OPS in like the mid 700s. That's
right.
probably more valuable than you think.
Yeah,
And the problem for Adley this year is just that he's been on the IL 3 times.
yeah.
Otherwise, for a catcher, he's been pretty good. And for me, he's defending better behind the plate than he ever has. And
So
so
here's
that's a
my
value. And so when I say that I'm open to dealing Adley,
right.
that's not because I think he's a bad player and I'm just done with him and this, that. It's not really that. It's that in order to keep him around, I just prefer exploring a deal in the trade market than I do signing him to the kind of extension that it's going to take to keep him around because he's
Yeah.
going to want to be paid like a central piece of a playoff team. And I don't think he's that either. So it's a weird spot with him where I don't think he's worth that kind of contract,
Yeah.
but he's also still a valuable piece on the trade market because he is a plus defensive catcher who can hit a little bit.
I still think the way it plays out, I think they really do explore trading him, but I think it's more in the off season. That's
You
just
could,
my opinion.
yeah, and I think one of the part of the calculation for Mike has to be it's no sure thing that it's going to be a 162 game season next year.
Yeah.
And so if you bring him back or try to bring him back, you don't know what you're going to get out of him.
Yeah.
You don't know how many games and whereas if you
Well,
cash
that's
out
good.
now,
That's good. The percentage of missing games
oh,
won't be as high.
there you go.
If he misses 20 games, out of 80,
Right.
and then it's
Right.
not that bad.
At least if you're cashing out on him now, you could sell, two pennant
Yeah.
races. You're getting two
Yeah.
pennant races out of him. Whereas if you keep him and it ends up being like a 130 something game season, you're not going to get nearly as much.
they call me Stan the Fan because I am a fan, in addition to being a media member. Do you think that inside the industry, he is more highly thought of than my frustrations cause me to feel about him?
That's a good question.
I
Good
guess that
catching's hard to
depends.
come.
I guess that depends on what they offer us.
And I also think it depends on what your catching situation is right now.
Yeah,
Like if you're the Yankees and you've been frustrated with your catching situation for a couple of years now, Adley Rutschman probably looks pretty damn good.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it, yeah.
I just wouldn't throw out. I would not throw out the Giants as a team that we could do business with Adley Rutschman.
With
And
Buster
they're in the
looking toward
midst.
next year.
Well, they're in the midst of selling off. So when we
Right.
get to the names I came up with,
Okay.
they don't have an awful lot. I mean, I would love if somehow I woke up, and don't ask me what he would do, but if suddenly they wanted to put Gunner on third, Halladay at second, and we woke up and Luis Arraez was our second baseman, I would not be, with Trey Taylor Ward, and suddenly I got a Luis Arraez leading off from me, batting 320,
Hmm.
getting on base at a high percentage. I wouldn't, but he's not on my list of the five guys, and I want to do that. But let me take a time out now and tell folks a little bit about the Costa Sin. Can I get your two thumbs, Luke? All right.
Two thumbs are up.
What do you like about the Costa Sin?
I love their pit beef.
Yeah,
Love their pit beef.
yeah. So when you go to either location, you are a pit beef guy.
Well, the crab cake's pretty good too, Stan.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Crab
I'm a pit
cakes are
beef
pretty
guy as
good.
well.
Yeah. Now, if you go to North Point Boulevard, do you like steamed crabs?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you afford them?
Oh, well, only when I'm with you.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, the phone number there, the phone number
More
at
accurately,
the phone
only when
number
I'm
for
with
the
Ross
Costa,
Grimsley. There you go.
the phone number at the Costa Inn is 410-477-1975. 410-477-1975. That's at the Costa Inn, North Point Boulevard. Crabs, they're in the offing there. If you call up, you need to reserve your crabs, find out the price point, the availability, and make sure you can get the size you want. Okay, that's the Costas Inn, and they're also located Timonium at the fairgrounds, up above the grandstand at the racetrack, right next to the OTB. Both places have a superb menu aside from crabs. There are no steamed crabs at Timonium at that location, but lunch and dinner 7 days a week. And I want to throw in a good word about my friends at Warnken Law. Byron Warnken is a good friend. I play fantasy baseball with him, but he's also handled my representation. I was involved in a car accident, and I turned to him, and I've been very happy. I haven't finally got all my results out of what happened, but Byron Warnken and Warnken Law, the team there are excellent. 443 results, go to warnkenlaw.com. All right, warnkenlaw.com. WARNKEN.com. Luke, looking at realistically, I think if I had to pinpoint one area that the Orioles really need help in, I think it's that bullpen.
Okay.
First of all, you and I both know the last 5, 6 years, the postseason, if that's what we're talking about, trying to improve
Hmm.
the team for the postseason, getting that cramp in my leg from my hip surgery. Um,
He's going to fight through it. He's going to
I'm going
play
to
through
fight
it.
through it. I am going to fight through it, but I don't know. Um, but seriously, the bullpen is a key point of contention for me that they need to improve it vastly. When I give you my 5-man list, and I was hoping you would come up with a 5-man list, but
I came up with like a two-man list. I'm sorry.
I've got five guys. One of them is an offensive player. One of them is a starting pitcher. Three of them are bullpen arms. I'm going to start with my number five. Okay. this would be assuming that I was dealing Taylor Ward, okay, in some type of deal. I would like to get Lane Thomas from the
Okay.
Kansas City Royals. I think he could both play left field. He could play any of the three positions in the outfield. Good defender, ha- has the ability to steal. I also think he'd be a good platoon partner
Okay.
with Cowser in center field. Your thoughts on Lane
Yeah,
Thomas?
so if Ward is traded, then you need to backfill for him, sort of like how they attempted to backfill for Austin Hayes with Austin Slater.
Yeah,
Now, that didn't work out great, but maybe
no,
this would work out better. So,
yeah.
yes, that makes a lot of sense to me. That if you're
All right,
trying to compete, but you do move Ward, you need a right-handed hitting outfielder.
all right. Now, right now, we've got Shane Baz pitching very well. Got Brandon Young pitching very well. Kyle Bradish pitching well. And despite today, which I thought was aided greatly by our poor defense today,
Mhm.
Trevor Rogers pitching well. Dean Kramer has not looked good the last two outings.
I didn't
You
think he
and
looked healthy
you and
last
I
night.
can you and I kind of wonder if he's 100%, really.
His stuff was rolling up to the plate and he was
Okay.
falling behind every hitter. This is usually a big time strike thrower. And
But
for me, the body language was bad. He looked uncomfortable. Ben
yeah,
McDonald mentioned that. I just wonder if he's healthy.
yeah. Okay. Well, this is along the lines again of what I'm proposing, big picture for the Orioles, because I don't think this team is a World Series team. But if you're this close to the playoffs, I have no problem with them going for it.
Okay.
But at the same time, as I suggested, I've come around to saying, okay, I get that we're not getting extension out of Trevor Rogers. His agent is basically, controlling this dynamic. So I'm suggesting that they trade Trevor Rogers somewhere and then try and re-sign him in free agency. That means they need a starting pitcher for this year. And I've identified a guy that I don't think would cost an awful lot or could be involved in my supposed Adley Rutschman deal going to the Giants. I'm not saying this would be the
Mhm.
pièce de resistance, but they've got a pitcher, and I love Robbie Ray, but I'm not proposing
Mhm.
Robbie Ray. Although if I woke up with him, I'd be thrilled.
Oh,
But I like Tyler Molly
okay.
as a guy. This is a guy last year with Texas. Let me read you the stats. Tyler Molly in 2025 was 6-4 with the Rangers. 16 starts. He had a 2.18 ERA and a 1.13. This year, he's got a 4.96 ERA and a 1.40 whip. But over his last 32 and a third innings, he's got, where did I put the ERA? Hold on. He's pitched 32 and a third innings, given up 27 hits, 12 runs, 11 earned runs, 2 home runs, 11 walks, 23 strikeouts in his last 6 games. I don't believe I didn't do the ERA on that, but he's pitched much better. I think it's just above 3. He's not a guy that stays healthy for very long,
Mhm.
but in a 2-month run to the wire, I think he could more than make up for Trevor Rogers. Your thoughts on Mr. Molly?
We were talking a few minutes ago about this being the time of year where small sample sizes really matter,
Yeah,
even to front offices that pride themselves on taking the 30,000-foot view. Well, this time of year, you got to make sure that whoever you're acquiring is healthy, number one,
yep,
because a lot of times teams acquire guys who have been fighting through things and they get sort of damaged goods in some respects. So, and then you've got to make sure that you would prefer that the guy you're acquiring is on a good run and has set himself up for a really good final 2 months of this season. So, yes, I could see something like that.
yeah. His ERA over his last 6 starts is 3.74. But his most recent start the other night against Milwaukee, I think it was He threw 6 shutout innings against the Brewers the other night, Tyler Molly. So that's my number three. My number four. That was my number four. My number three is a left-handed reliever, which I think they are desperate. I
Hmm.
know that they did a deep dive the other day on Masson that showed that they are actually pitching pretty well at getting the right-handers are pitching well enough to get left-handed hitters. That could be true, and I'm not disputing it, but they need another left-hander.
Sure.
And my number three pick is Brooks Raley of
Okay.
the New York Mets. 38 and two-thirds innings, giving up 2 home runs, 209 ERA, 1.14 ERA. Your
Yeah.
thoughts on
Yeah.
Brooks Raley?
Veteran lefty, and has helped a lot of bullpens throughout the years. That makes some sense to me. Sure.
What would you have to give up for him? Keeping in mind last year, we did that deal with the Mets. Did we do two separate deals with the Mets
Two deals. It was a Mullins deal and it was a
and
Gregory
a
Soto deal.
Gregory Soto deal? Yeah,
And the Orioles actually did well in both deals. They
yeah.
got Wellington Aracena back for Gregory Soto, which was a great get. I saw him in Aberdeen, electric stuff. They ended up flipping him for Blaze Alexander.
Okay.
So that was a good transaction all around. And then they got Anthony Nunez for Cedric Mullins.
Yeah.
And he's flashed some upside this year.
Good.
So both of those deals worked out for the Orioles.
Okay. But do you have any idea, sense of what it would take to get? Would it be a multiple person prospect deal?
Probably just because once you start talking about lefty relievers at the deadline, they
Yeah.
get more than you think.
Yeah.
Because you know who else needs lefty relievers? The 19 other contenders.
Right. And there are,
That's how
there
you end
are,
up
I'll
giving
tell you
up.
what, Luke, there are 22 contenders.
That's how you end up giving up.
When you
Go ahead.
keep in mind that the Dodgers, the Atlanta Braves, they're not battling for a wild card, but they want to get better too. So
Right.
there's 22 teams in contention.
I would say the one area that consistently overperforms in the trade market is
Left-handed reliever.
left-handed relievers who can get both left and right-handed hitters out. Those are like gold on the trade market. Everybody needs them, and you can play all these teams off each other. If you like need a third baseman, there might be only like one or two teams that really need a third baseman. There
Right.
are 22 teams that need left-handed relief.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to my number two. Also a Met. So maybe there's a possibility the way remember the Nats once picked up Ryan Matson and was it Doolittle? Yeah, I
I don't
think it
know.
was Sean Doolittle and
I don't
Ryan
know.
Matson they picked up from the A's. But anyway, my next guy is Luke Weaver. He's thrown
Woo!
42 innings this year, right-handed reliever, formerly of the Yankees, 3 home runs, a buck 93 ERA, a 0.83 whip. I have him very high on my list of
Yeah,
people that would help.
I think he's probably high on everybody's list.
Yeah,
He's been one of the best relievers in baseball ever since he became a reliever.
yeah,
If you recall, he was a really, really bad starting pitcher in Cincinnati. And then the Yankees picked him up, made him a reliever, and that's changed his career.
yeah.
And I think he might be getting some more closing opportunities in New York with the Mets of late. I can't remember if it's like still Devin Williams getting all the opportunities
Devin
or
Williams got his 15th save today,
okay. All
and they
right.
haven't had a ton of saves.
Right. Okay. So, but he's capable of that.
Yeah,
He's capable of helping out in the ninth inning for sure.
okay. All right. So you like that. My number one pick, but I don't think there's a chance in hell we get him, is Adrian Morjan of the San Diego Padres, a left-handed reliever. This year, Morjan is 8-2 with a 3.2 ERA, a 1.08 WHIP in 56 and a third innings, 3 home runs, and 65 Ks. I think he's going to definitely end up a Yankee. But your thoughts on
I,
Adrian Morjan?
aside from Scooble, I mean, he might be the belle of the ball. Really, everyone's going to want him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's exactly what we were talking about. Hard throwing lefty reliever who can get left and right out. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
So
think the Orioles will be in that mix.
so now here's a couple other names. Those were my top five in that order. Here's a couple other. Hogan Harris of the A's.
Okay.
Seems like an Adrian Morjan light. You know, he's got
Yeah.
8 saves this year, but his numbers are not great. He's got 309 ERA, a whip of 145,
Okay.
walks too many guys, given
Right.
up, I think, 10 home runs in 46 innings. But
I'll give him a break for pitching in that ballpark.
in that ballpark, that's a good point. Luis Medina, a
Okay.
right-handed pitcher,
Yep.
has really flashed some really good work this year. 16 and a third innings, buck 65 ERA, no home runs given up in 16 innings. Brennan Bernardino, formerly of the Boston Red Sox,
Yep.
a left-handed
Yep.
reliever. Uh, he's got a 2.68 ERA, 43 and two-thirds innings, a buck 19 whip, or that's, yeah, a buck 19 whip. And I'll give you one other lefty is Yuki Matsui of the San Diego Padres. That's my list.
I like it.
Okay.
I like
All
it.
right. You have any guys you would really
Yes.
like to see the
So,
club acquire?
so if the club is interested in shopping Adley Rutschman
Yeah.
to one of the teams that need catching help, and there are quite a few of them. Unfortunately for the Orioles, like three of them are in the AL East. So that's Boston, New York, and Tampa Bay are all probably sniffing around for catching help.
Yeah.
And I don't know if David Rubenstein's going to want to sign off on sending Adley Rutschman to one of those teams. Maybe he will. I don't know.
Right. Right.
But one name that has always intrigued me is with the Dodgers, who need catching help because I don't know when they're
They
going to
don't
get
know
Will
when
Smith.
Smith's coming back. Yeah.
So, and the ERA is a little bit elevated, but he's got plenty of team control left. Emmett Sheehan. It's a really talented arm.
Now he's a
He's
left-hander.
he's a right-hander.
He's a right-hander.
You're thinking of Robleski, the
Yeah.
left-hander.
Yeah.
Sheehan is one of these guys who has frustrated them for a little while.
Emmett Sheehan. Right.
Yes, throws really hard, good metrics on the stuff. He just hasn't quite been able to put it together. And he's a little bit like their version of the old Grayson Rodriguez.
Okay.
Not so much the injuries, but just frustrating in terms of
Frustration. Yeah.
frustration level. Um, I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him. And if you could get him for Adley Rutschman, for a year and a half of Adley Rutschman, and you get like 4 years of Emmett Sheehan plus
Hmm.
a couple other prospects, that would interest me.
Okay.
That would interest me.
Okay. I'll just
Uh,
throw one last thing at the Tyler Molly thing. I also think that Tyler Molly would be, in other words, look, I love the Albert Suarez story, but we're talking about if you're really trying to get to the playoffs and compete to make a run.
right.
Okay. Suarez and Nunez are the two guys that I think you got to upgrade in this bullpen. Maybe Garcia, but Tyler Molly is also interesting to me to to bring in the Suarez role, but being a guy that he can bring some heat, Molly. And
Right.
I think you put him in shorter appearances. I don't know the level that their scouts would have to know that, whether he could come back, 3 times a week or something like that. But I think he could also, in addition, in other words, if they keep Trevor Rogers, I would think that Tyler Molly is not an expensive guy. Giants would probably love him off their books. He's owed another $3 million for the rest of the season. So
So I would love to tell you that Chris Bassett's going to come back and re-enter the rotation, and he's going to be good, and you can bump Dean Kramer to the bullpen. That's a whole lot of wish casting for
yeah.
me.
So
Uh,
is the idea of Cade Povich
yeah,
coming up and being a left-handed reliever. You know,
right.
you're right now, you're dealing, if you want to make this team better for this year, that's what we're proposing right now. But a couple of these ideas, like the Trevor Rogers trading him, I've been against it all along, but now I've come to Jesus, so to speak.
Okay.
I see the wisdom in trying to get two really good
Yeah,
near
I'm
major
totally
prospects.
open at this point to reimagining this
Yeah,
heading into next year,
yeah,
assuming there is a next season, but
yeah.
a different look, and basically being open to anybody on the roster. I think it could be a fairly active deadline for the Orioles. I don't know what Mike has up his sleeve. I
All right.
really don't.
Listen, I know Monday you're going to be at the Mike Loxley barbecue,
Yep.
which I would be at normally, even though the trade deadline's pretty interesting. So, but I'm not able to travel right now for that. So Ross and I might do something Monday, but then you and I'll do something Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay, recap
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
All right. All right, that's going to do it. New issues coming out in what, about 2.5 weeks?
That sounds about 3 weeks. I think it's 19th, August
Okay.
19th. So it's about 3 weeks from today.
And it's going to be focused on Jesse.
Yeah, a lot of football in
A
this.
lot of football. All right. All right. That's going to do it for today. The special trade edition of the Monday Baseball Chat. Stan the Fan and Luke Jackson out of here now. Thanks to the Costas in once again, where they get 4 thumbs up right now. 4 thumbs up, Luke. Okay. There you go. And if Ross were here, there'd be 2 more, but that's it. And we're also brought to you by Warren Wall. That's going to do it. I'll be on with you Friday, right? On the Friday
Yes.
baseball show.
Yes, I am sitting in for you on the Friday baseball show in studio with Griffin Bass,
All right.
and we will nail down a time with Griffin for you
Okay.
to zoom in.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Bye for now, everybody.